your mind. Open your mind.
We can't expect to be number one in everything indefinitely.
We are beginning to turn the corner. The new jobs numbers out today revealed that last month, the month of March, was the single best month for jobs in the last 3 years.
We begin with Wall Street, where the Dow has been on a steady climb now for more than a year. Yesterday, it closed above the 11,000 mark for the first time since September of 2008.
Heavy on their agenda this year, which is not at all unusual, unfortunately, is their intentions for Europeans and Americans to pay higher income taxes, significantly higher income taxes, because of their plan to level the world so that the third world countries' standard of living rises, the European and American standard of living drops until we're all poor together under their world government. Yes, they manipulated the worldwide depression, and now they're exploiting it for their own selfish reasons. They intend to keep it going for at least until late in the year 2011, late next year, for their own purposes. And now we have Bernanke telling a private group of businessmen in Texas that these sources are difficult, quote unquote, these sources are difficult. It always seems easier to put them off until the day they cannot be put off anymore. And he's saying that we've got to raise taxes and cut services. And he said that to a group of businessmen in Dallas, and their job is to be little messenger boys and go out and tell everybody in the world that we need to accept it. Americans get so hungry and so desperate they'll accept anything. But yet he and the other boys engineered the very financial crisis that they're exploding, and everything's going according to their plan at this point. We're not going to come out of this until late 2011. If we turn around, there might be a little perk here and there, but as far as digging out, nope, not at all. Okay, more bad news. The gas prices are going up, possibly over the next 2 years to $7 a gallon, like they pay in Europe. And they say so many times, Europeans pay $7 a gallon. Now observe that there's a plentiful supply of oil. We've got more than enough oil coming out of everywhere. So there's no rationalization with this supply of oil to raise prices other than their arbitrary decision to raise prices. So sadly, your oil prices are going to be going up.
One of the issues that's been weighing down the financial markets is debt. Fears about high levels of government debt in Europe and here at home. Eye-popping deficit numbers that have put the U.S. in some uncharted waters when it comes to borrowing and paying it back.
Taking the advice of their public officials to buy guns and learn how to use them.
Arm themselves, be very careful, and just be vigilant, because we're going to have to look after each other.
Gun dealers and firearms instructors in the county say their business has really picked up since the sheriff department layoff started.
Meanwhile, the jobless rate in the U.S. is not going anywhere. It hung in there at 9.7% for the third straight month, with 162,000 jobs created. That was less than expected and barely a dent in the 8 million jobs that have been lost in this recession.
Well, there's senseless violence spreading north from Mexico, and it's apparently fueled by the greed of these warring drug cartels. It's inching its way closer to our southern border.
And the sheriff of Hudspeth County in Texas is taking no chances. He's telling folks in the U.S. border towns to arm themselves and prepare for war. Sheriff?
I just want to make sure that we've got the numbers right, that if you don't get some input, find some new money or get some give-backs from one of the parties involved in this, L.A., the nation's second largest city, you're out of money 23 days. Is that correct?
Made in China is almost everywhere you look.
It's popping up in places where it shouldn't be.
And Congressman Mark Schauer believes it's these labels that are putting hardworking Americans out of work.
Enough of China taking advantage of our government contracts while locking their doors to American companies.
These planes go by and they billow out this white smoke, and it covers the sky from horizon to horizon. It doesn't dissipate at all. And they crisscross each other, and you see this thing cover the sky and turn it milky, and then people start having trouble breathing, and then you hear stories about the aluminum and barium deposits that they're picking up and the residue. And you put it all together, and I don't see how anybody who's got their eyes open and their mind open can come to any other conclusion but that somebody is spending a lot of money and effort to spray the planet. The question is, why?
Here in Southern Oregon and Northern California, we've got a bit of an unusual situation. Now, this first portion of the radar cycle, fairly bland and typical, but then you see these bands of very distinct cloud cover moving into the region. That is not rain, that is not snow, believe it or not. Military aircraft flying through the region dropping chaff. Small bits of aluminum, sometimes it's made of plastic, or even metallicized paper products, but it's used as an anti-radar issue, and obviously they're up there practicing. Now, they won't confirm that, but I was in the Marine Corps for many years, and I'll tell you right now, that's what it is. 50 in Medford right now, 48.
The Los Angeles Times on April 21st, you said that you told the Associated Press that the American government has created weather tampering techniques so that the New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans and control the rest. Would you explain what you were trying to say?
Well, what I was trying to say is exactly what I said. There is weather control techniques. We have a complete package on that, which I did not bring, but I certainly will see to it that it is brought in for the record.
In medical news tonight, a chip the size of a grain of rice could save your life. 7's on call with Dr. Jay Adlersberg. Jay?
Shade, Diana, what happens if you're in a bad accident and can't communicate with emergency workers and doctors? New microchip technology now makes it possible for the emergency room staff to find out about your medical history at the touch of a computer key. In an emergency room, a split-second decision can mean the difference between life and death.
So many emergency physicians have to operate blind. We have to make medical decisions not knowing what medicines you take or what allergies you have.
Hi, Dr. Hamaka. We're going to check your scan today, okay?
Harvard Dr. John Halamka says this radio frequency identification chip may solve that problem. He had it implanted in his right upper arm.
Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya, we took a public HIV test for the very point of showing folks in Kenya that there is nothing to be embarrassed about in getting tested.
Hey, one more quick question. President-elect Obama's birthplace over in Kenya, is that going to be a national spot to go visit where he was born?
It's already an attraction. His paternal grandmother is still alive, and
but his birthplace, they'll put up a marker there.
It will depend on the government. It's already well known.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Not a lot of it.
Mike, he basically admitted that President-elect Obama was born there.
Yes, he did.
That's what I was asking him. Remember the controversy about...
I do, about Hawaii and whether he naturalized or not, or what happened.
It's because people have to understand that there are events moving that will so transform their future expectations, hopes, and abilities to feed their family. What is it, 39.5 million food stamps now in this country? 39.5 million, and every day, it doesn't matter. I would say to Mr. Bernanke, I would say to Mr. Dayton, you guys, and they know this, you cannot sell a house without a job. You cannot sell a hope without a job. You cannot spend what you do not take in. Oh, if you can, quote, print the money, you can. But the thing is, the American standard of living has depreciated so substantially. Our roads, our infrastructures are crumbling.
But the risk of nuclear attack has gone up.
Open your mind. Open your mind.